On a brisk evening in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, it is the USL Championship tonight in the Eastern Conference as Rhode Island FC welcome the Charleston Battery to Centerville Bank Stadium. Sean St. Jacques, the coach, Eric Dobransky here with you. It is the start of a doubleheader tonight on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Happy to have you with us. These two teams have locked horns quite a bit as of late in the regular season and in the championship. And Coach, we look a little bit deeper into the matchup. Certainly the goalkeepers are going to be ones to keep an eye on.
Yeah, both these teams feature elite goalkeepers in the league, and each of them are foundational to their team's successes. The surprise would be one clean sheet apiece, but I would expect to see an uptick in that as the season advances. Coque Vegas finished 2025 tied for second overall with 13 clean sheets, and then Zamudio collected 8 in 2025 and was 7th in the league in total saves. So both these goalkeepers do a tremendous job of protecting their goal and being a presence in the box.
We're still in the early months of this regular season, but this game does mean a lot. A win for Rhode Island puts them within a point of the top 8. The Battery could end the night in third by themselves with a win.
Yeah, for Rhode Island, 2 unbeaten and had a terrific performance at Lexington, picked up 3 points. Brooklyn conceded late last night, dropped points against Sacramento. So for Rhode Island, if they pick up 3 points, they jump Birmingham and Brooklyn. I know it's very early, but that would be big for them. Charleston Battery, on the other hand, sit top 4, but a team seeking that consistency in performance. 3 of their last 4 have been on the road, but they've beaten New City and then that big draw against Tampa Bay Rowdies on the weekend.
Going to be another tough road test tonight for Charleston, a place where they've never won in the club's history. And anytime these two have met, whether it's been in the playoffs, whether it's been in the regular season, very, very tightly contested games.
Always has significance. 2 clubs with great ambition. Of the 6 previous meetings, to your point, 4 of them have showcased clean sheets for either side. And then of the wins, 2 of them have been decided by 1 goal. So fine margins have come to define this clash, and I would expect the same tonight.
Ben Pierman told us early in the week, we feel like we owe Rhode Island one. Rhode Island have knocked the Battery out of the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons. So it's a bit of a grudge match on Golazo Network this evening. Make no mistake about that. Charleston want to get Rhode Island back for eliminating them in the playoffs. Rhode Island trying to continue their uptick after a couple of positive results in the Cup and in the league. We'll have the kickoff coming up for Rhode Island after the break.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you? Sure, I can help you with that. How would you like to make the deposit today? Cash or check? Thank you for visiting Centerville Bank. Have a great day.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. May is Bike to Work Month, and it's more rewarding than ever thanks to the Drive Less RI app. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, earn rewards by logging your green trips. Download the Drive Less RI app today, or visit drivelessri.com to get started. And be on the lookout for our celebration stations in May. For more info, visit ripta.com/bike to work.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky here with you on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Rhode Island and Charleston in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship getting ready to lock horns again here at Centerville Bank Stadium on a rainy and brisk night in the state of Rhode Island. And fittingly enough, we start with the starting lineups, and Cano Smith and Rhode Island are set up like this, Coach.
And a midfield of Holstead, Rodriguez, and Bacharach. They're going to seek to define the loud moments that this game presents. Then Afonso is strengthening his connection with Williams. Rodriguez had a terrific goal at Lexington. He's going to be looking to stack performances and complement an attack that has produced 7 goals in their first 5 matches.
On the other side of the coin for the Charleston Battery under head coach Ben Pierman, here's how the lineup looks after the 1-1 draw on CBS Sports Network against the Rowdies.
Yeah, expect this Charleston attack to hunt the box and get this team off to an electric start. But I look at the wide play and the combinations of Kelly, Messer on the left, Kisiadu and Landry on the right, their influence in both halves of the field, winning duels defensively, along with the quality of those wide entries, those services, the crosses that are so influential in how the Charleston Battery play.
Well, the last time these two teams met was in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals in South Carolina last season. It ended 0-0, and Rhode Island prevailed on penalties. As we've seen, there's going to be an interruption at the start of the game here between Rhode Island and Charleston. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of break down the game a little bit more. As we see some fan shots here. Well, like Ben Pierman told us, Coach, earlier in the week, Charleston feel like they need to get one back on Rhode Island. It's been a little while since the Battery last beat Rhode Island in the league, particularly the way the last 2 seasons have ended for Charleston at Rhode Island's expense. They'll really feel a need to prove a point here tonight.
And it's a fascinating moment for Ben Pierman and his group. I mean, we mentioned it in the open, 5 road matches in their last 7 of all competitions. So you have a midweek matchup, you're on the road, you had a home game on Saturday in a performance that you feel good about, but obviously left there with 1 point against Tampa Bay Rowdies. But now you go on the road, play a team that this is a high-quality Eastern Conference clash and one that you circle when the season begins. So can they start off on the front foot? Can they influence the match in some of those individual interactions to start off, and then that builds into their collective performance here on the road?
Rhode Island are going from left to right here, and on the attack early with Leo Afonso, who squares up for the shot and drags it just wide of the post. Nearly a picture-perfect start for Rhode Island.
And this is that relationship that I mentioned in the open, the ability to recognize that he's driving into space. Obviously, he gets head up. JJ Williams wants that ball to feet, and you can see him turning around. But the occupation of defenders from players around him, whether they're behind Afonso or in the width, that is the pieces and the elements that are starting to come together for Rhode Island and Cano Smith.
Let's look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Flood 4. We start with Rhode Island.
Yeah, for Rhode Island, be sharp in transition. This is a team that you look at Charleston's last performance against Brooklyn. Obviously, some key turnovers in some key areas, and Brooklyn punished them. So be sharp. This is also a Rhode Island side that top 5 in interceptions per match. So can they turn them over in big moments? And then for Charleston, score first. Out of their 8 competitions, and all competitions, 5 of those they've conceded first, and only 1 of those 5 they picked up 3 points, and that was at home against Birmingham when they went down 2-0 at the break, scored 3 second-half goals. So on the road, you just can't put yourself behind the 8 ball, and that's something that for Charleston and Ben Pierman's group, they're going to want to make sure that they're very active, they're proactive going forward, and then, but you're also secure in a lot of the moments where you can recirculate in the attacking half.
And we were talking about this earlier. Remember, Rhode Island didn't play at the weekend. The last time they were in action was 8 days ago. Playing here, of course, technically as the visitors in the Open Cup against New England. They gave the Revs a heck of a battle, but the Revolution prevailed on penalties after some crazy stoppage time magic, of course, from JJ Williams.
And that's why you see an 11 unchanged from Cano Smith from their last matchup against Lexington, their last league matchup. And when you have a performance like that, where you go on the road, you score 3, obviously they conceded late, which is the one blemish on the performance, but overall, I mean, you score 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers. You add that kind of variety. You want to see that continuity, and you see that in the starting 11 tonight.
There was a challenge there from Hugo Bacharach. Our head referee is Elton Garcia. He lets that one go. Near side clipped up ahead by Nodarse and then Holstead. One back by the battery here for Nathan Messer, who's in excellent form for Charleston at the moment. And Messer pokes this ahead for Miguel Berry. Berry, is he brought down there on the edge of the area? Yes. Elton Garcia brings it back. It's a free kick, and presumably it's just outside the 18-yard box.
And you mentioned that influence from Nathan Messer, and this sequence kind of encompasses where this season has gone for Nathan Messer. 1v1 going up, challenging, and then you could see that elbow going up against Miguel Berry right outside the box. Elton Garcia sees it clearly. Dangerous early free kick. But Nathan Messer able to climb the field, influence the initial challenge, but you see him just continue to occupy that space higher up the field, trusting that his teammates have his support and are able to regain possession, and then him and Miguel Berry are able to create that overload.
From the free kick, oh, it's stung in there. Hits off the side of the Rhode Island wall and allows RIFC to clear it back into the Charleston half. Allows us to get to tonight's health report. It's brought to you by the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. The big one, really, for Rhode Island is Amos Shapiro-Thompson. Cano Smith told us he was touch and go coming into this week. He doesn't quite make it, but the hope is that he'll be back again into the fold soon. He's been dealing with a couple of different bumps and bruises in the early months of the season. Lovely marauding run here from Jeremy Kelly. Ben Pierman talked about the Kelly and Messer connection really coming up with big moments so far this season as Jope defends there for Rhode Island. It's out for a battery throw.
And you could tell early in the season with that combination of Kelly and Messer, it was just about getting accustomed to that delivery of Nathan Messer, whether it's early, the deep service.
Rhode Island trying to break here in transition. That time, Afonso and Quizera not on the same page. Well, RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero never tasted so good. Tried to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is an official partner of RIFC. Attempting at the threading of the needle for Messer on the near side, but no Darce is there for Rhode Island.
And for Rhode Island, I mentioned being sharp in transition. Can you catch Charleston in some of these moments where maybe you can play quick, you can turn them over, and then you can find these outside backs high and involved? Can you create that space in behind, move the center backs? Then that's when you generate some space, as you see Nodarse back up.
Frank Nodarse grimacing a bit there for Rhode Island. Hopefully he's okay. One of the more versatile players that Cano Smith has at his disposal, player that can play in multiple spots on the field. That is an errant feed out wide for Landry from Sean Suber. They pick up the pieces here, Charleston, and get back on it. Messer from Apanonu. 2 assists already this season for Nathan Messer in the league. Here's Sean Suber, a champion with Pittsburgh last season. The championship final. Here's Miguel Berry for the battery here out to the far side. Little pirouette from Kisiadu. Forced to replenish the possession back to Graham Smith and then Apanonu after that. Kelly. Again, forced back to Apononu with Rhode Island pressing them back. Smith, right on the money for Messer. Messer into the middle, headed away by Karifa Yao. Back for Messer on a recycle.
And you can see in these moments, Apononu dropping in. Obviously, he's the center back, Graham Smith, and then Suber there along that right side. It allows Osu Landry to be high and wide. It's a team that's very comfortable on the ball, but along with that, they have playmaking defensive players. Drive the field on the dribble, can unleash a rangy ball and be accurate with it.
Landry. Harried. The pass forward was deflected. It falls for Kisiadu. Kisiadu in behind. And it's swept up by Vegas. There's a Battery player down, away from the action here. Rhode Island can continue on unless Elton Garcia does that. He blows the whistle, allows the medical staff to come on. I wonder if there was maybe a late challenge on Kisiadu after he released the ball in behind. Do we get the luxury of a replay?
Something there for Elton Garcia to bring this ball and bring play to a halt. And it's a no contact injury, which is obviously always haunting to see, just because you don't know exactly what exactly caused the injury. As we see Connor Smith, third season with Rhode Island, and my goodness, all they have done is made tremendous playoff pushes, and you see this team navigate a regular season and they just continue to grow into form.
We asked him about his team's ability not only to make deep runs in the Open Cup, where they've given MLS teams trouble, in the playoffs, in the Prinks Tires USL Cup last year, they went to the semifinals. He said it's down to the character of the players. They just want to fight for each other every game. The competition and the competitive spirit in the group, he says, is key to being able to do that year after year.
Yeah, and the character in tough situations. And I think that's where you see a lot of teams separate themselves, because everybody can be in great spirits when you're winning games and you're playing this fluid style and you're seeing a lot of success. But then when you actually get challenged and pushed and stretched by another team, how do you respond? And this is a Rhode Island side that prevails in that grittiness, in that collective character that has seen them find a lot of success in playoff runs.
See the player each go down with an injury early. Nodarse and now Kisiadu. It's quite rainy, a cold night in Rhode Island. I do wonder if that has anything to do with it. This falls for Quizera, meanwhile. Bacharach for Jope. Rhode Island on the prowl here. Out wide for Sanchez, who's been excellent as of late. Ball in from Holstead, headed away by Graham Smith. Only as far as Karifa Yao. Holstead tries again. Lovely touch from Hugo Bacharach. His shot is deflected to Nodarse. Nodarse sizes it up, tries to thread the needle for Rodriguez, and the Battery will clear it back into the Rhode Island half.
There's that ever-present Coque Vegas. He's always there to clean up that ball.
And he's allowed Rhode Island to get right back on the front foot here, but Smith is able to stand up Rodriguez. And a tussle there, could have gone either way on the call. Referee lets it go. Rhode Island still pressing here. It's touched again into open space. The shot's deflected over the top. And out for a corner as Pity Rodriguez puts more pressure on the Battery back line.
And as this play developed for Rhode Island, you could see Kisiadu go down to ground, signaling that he does need a substitute. See the turnover here, and awkward from Kisiadu, the awkward fall, signaling he needs a sub.
That would be a massive loss for the Charleston Battery. Make no mistake about that. It is going to be a corner kick for Rhode Island. If Rhode Island scores off a corner, you can show your match ticket at a Chick-fil-A Attleboro location. Get a free chicken sandwich. There's the look at Laurent Kissiadou. Just provides such a unique profile. Ben Pierman coached him back with Memphis 901 a few years back. They've been reunited here with Charleston, and he's shown so many positive moments throughout the season. But this is clearly very serious, at least for the night. And Kissiadou, as he makes the pass there, clearly grimaced and cannot continue.
A lot of pain and discomfort, and this early in the season, obviously you want all teams to kind of navigate that health and make sure that they're fully available. You just don't want to be hit with injuries like this.
We only wait a minute if he's sat, not subbing. You need to go to them Zoom calls.
We've just been given the word the change has been submitted. It's going to be Malik Foster, we're told, who's going to come in for Kissiadou. We'll get to that after the corner. Rhode Island whip it into the near post. Maybe too tight at the near post. Hits the side netting, and it's a goal kick for the Battery. We're now going to make that change. Kissiadou out. The very talented and very impactful Malik Foster will take his place. Another player that seems to have fit Ben Pierman's system like a glove.
It does the work on both sides of the ball. We'll go press, repress, cause a lot of havoc up front, but then also those quality attributes as an attacking presence.
All we can do is wish Kissiadou all the best at this point. Hopefully it's not a long-term issue for the Charleston Battery going forward. Kelly, lovely turn here. Threads the needle into the middle, looking for Foster, who couldn't quite corral it, and Vegas is there to get it behind him. Up the other end for Rhode Island. Rodriguez out wide. And then Landry is able to get the defensive stop out for a throw in there. Proudly outfitting RIFC, Capelli Sport is your global game changer for premium kits, gear, and innovation on and off the field.
It does look like the Charleston Battery defensively set up in this 5-3-2. Offensively, able to drop into those three center backs, and then that allows Landry, Messer to play in advanced positions. And then you've already seen the interchange of Kelly dropping in, playmaking. Now he's on the ball.
Kelly again wins it back. Lovely ball roll, and then what a challenge. Hugo Bacharach. Right place, right time. May have saved a goal. It's out for a corner.
An excellent tackle. Poor turnover here. Just continues his run, Bacharach does. And this timely intervention, he sees the ball and able to make a play there, and what a play it was. It probably saved a goal for Rhode Island. Obviously, Koke Vegas is still there to make the save, and don't put it past him to do just that, but kept that from being even a part of the conversation.
A great defensive play to negate what was a great offensive play from Kelly. Still a chance for the Battery from the corner. Good shape on it. Headed to the outskirts for Kelly, who hits it. Deflected away and cleared by Rhode Island. Now Apononu recycles. Gets it back a second time here, forced to go all the way back to Kelly. Landry. Rhode Island pressing a little bit further up, forced to go all the way back to Luis Zamudio.
And obviously allowing Charleston to get back into attacking shape because you're coming from that attacking set piece.
Early ball up ahead here. Miguel Berry from Malik Foster. Berry again, chops it onto his left, takes on the shot, and it's deflected out of play by Karife Yao. It's another Charleston corner in very quick succession.
And as soon as Charleston was able to get back in that attacking shape and in positional play, you get that vertical threat, and Miguel Berry does a tremendous job of not only working in front of a back line, but those moments where he can stretch a defensive line.
Nathan Messer takes out his protractor again and tries to find the right angle with his set piece. Decent delivery on the last one. Rhode Island just had too many numbers in the heart of the 6. Messer goes even further towards goal, forces the punch by Vegas. Foster on the retreat, puts Landry in a difficult spot, at least initially there, but then it was well communicated by Landry to allow Zamudio to get back on it. Well, getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between Pawtucket Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. For a full list of stops, visit ripta.com/RIFC. Here is Messer. Just sort of surveying the scene. Had Suber for support. It's played up ahead for Landry. Landry's early ball in behind is cut out. And then Suber tries to get onto it. Landry's there as well to recoup it for Graham Smith with 20 minutes gone. Lovely ball into the path of Messer. Berry, lovely little back heel, and then it's a stood-up challenge from Bacharach, but then recovered nicely in the end by Pahamov. Landry with time and space on the far side. Early ball in behind is well placed for Kelly. And Kelly couldn't get enough oomph behind the attempt, and Vegas comes up with the save.
You just have to like the mix that Charleston Battery are throwing in the attacking third. I mean, Jeremy Kelly has found himself central. He's been able to work along that left side. They're attacking in that 3-4-3 with Berry, Foster, and Kelly doing extremely well to play off of each other, and the combinations there.
RIFC is powered by Vitalden, performance nutrition trusted by athletes, from energy gels and electrolyte gummies. Vitalden helps fuel training and match day. Vitalden's an official partner of RIFC. The 2 biggest chances of the game have been from Jeremy Kelly for the Battery. Another lovely early ball played in behind here. Oh, and is there a foul there? Sanchez on Foster. It's not going to matter. The offside flag goes up. But more positive play from Ben Pierman's Charleston here.
Asking a lot of questions of this Rhode Island side. You have Miguel Berry. You see him sitting in that pocket, occupying the attention of the 2 center backs, and then Malik Foster able to work between the 2 defenders, obviously offside in that instant, but solid play thus far from Ben Pierman's group.
Stay in there, good. Yeah, wait, Jay, wait. Yeah, Pitty, go. Jay, put him on.
Here's Apononu.
Seconds, it's fine.
Too tall in the end for Kelly. Recovered by Holstead. Rodriguez tried to thread the needle for Williams. No surprise, Charleston's trying to make sure that that distribution towards J.J. Williams is cut off. Battery throw on the near side, last off Quizera. Messer looking for someone to get open here, throws it towards the edge. Berry tried to touch it through, another clever little maneuver there, but it was cut out. Landry towards Foster. And Hamidi Jope is on the defensive cover for Rhode Island here. He'll lift it over the top and out of play. Well, the USL on CBS Sports Network wraps up the month of April with Prinks Tires USL Group 5 play. Of course, it's El Clamico. Hartford and Rhode Island, 7 p.m. Eastern, April 25th. All the actions on CBS Sports Network. The USL Cup chapter of El Clamico last season was one of the best games I think we saw throughout the entirety of the campaign. A 2-2 thriller that Hartford won on penalties here at Centerville Bank Stadium, and of course we know how that all ended. Both teams made the semi. Hartford ended up winning the whole thing.
And two teams that have already played each other in US Open Cup as well. So the rivalry just gets sharper and sharper.
Great point. That was a Rhode Island victory here over Hartford to knock Brendan Burke's boys out of the Open Cup before taking the Revs of New England all the way to penalties. Rhode Island win it back here with Quizera, who's hounded by a number of Battery players here. Oh, then Nodarse treads on that, maybe too long. Recovers it back for Vegas.
And that's going to be the area for Rhode Island and Conor Smith's group, is finding that balance between yard defending in a lot of different sequences here against Charleston, but can you find the distances where when you do regain possession, especially off casual turnovers in some of those moments from Charleston, can you punish them? Can you be ruthless? Can you have the distance where you can play forward and be effective and not have to always reset, play sideways, and allow Charleston to do what they're so good at, which is that counter press, getting right back on the ball, challenging a lot of those isolated situations.
Nodarse. Messer sending Quizera further back. And then Yao all the way back to Vegas thanks to the pressing from Miguel Berry. That goes over the top of J.J. Williams, who really hasn't had much of a touch at all so far. That's a credit to Ben Pierman and his setup here. It's no surprise that you have the likes of Apononu, Landry, and Smith kind of all in that area, almost taking turns, making sure that J.J. Williams doesn't get a sniff. Williams with the hard work there, but couldn't get it back for Rhode Island. Certainly Sean Suber's been a part of that defensive setup as well for the Battery. One of the better defenders in the entire league. I think could certainly a case be made for that.
Get with the jerk.
Flipped up ahead by Graham Smith. The cushioned header by Messer. Jeremy Kelly for Berry. Back for Kelly. Lovely build up here. Edge of the area, the volley. He's gonna go wide. Vegas was interested, but Ikaza couldn't hit the target.
This is the unpredictability of the Charleston Battery, their ability to attack from all angles and all distances. You see Ikaza has had terrific influence on this team this season, has come on and go back to that Birmingham match. They go down 2-0 at the break. Ikaza comes on in the second half, scores a brace. Really sets the tempo for that turnaround and picking up all 3 points for the Charleston Battery. But this is where this team can play those quality passes in behind, but can also operate outside the 18-yard box, can hit from distance. Obviously, Jeremy Kelly being one of those players as well.
Here is Miguel Berry again for the Battery. Holds up the play. And ricochets back for J.J. Williams. Now can Rhode Island counterattack? The answer is no.
I know he lays. That's fucking targeting. That is persistent. The next time he gets fouled, if there's not a yellow, I'm going to end up getting a yellow with Elton.
We apologize if any of the foul language there leaked through. That was Ben Pierman having a word with the fourth official on the near side. Not happy with one of the last challenges that came in. Here is Apononu. Settles it down for Suber. It's going to be poked over the top. Ikaza tries to profit here. No, Darce gets there as well. Miguel Berry tries to pick up the pieces. Took on 2 Rhode Island players. He thought he was fouled. Elton Garcia disagrees. Now Williams with the hold-up play. Cannot slide it through. Ikaza for Landry. Out wide for Foster. And Foster wins Charleston a corner on the far side. He might need to readjust his footwear ever so slightly.
For the Charleston Battery, obviously doing it in possession, but also earning some quality looks on attacking corners, and something that they have been extremely dangerous with. Obviously the equalizer against Tampa Rowdies. Nathan Messer to Douglas Martinez.
Charleston have cashed in some key set pieces, no questions about that this season. We talked to Ben Pierman about that, how important these moments have been. From another corner, that's Bacharach. Gets a critical header onto it for Rhode Island. Quizera then tries to find a teammate down this near side. It's out for a throw-in for Rodriguez. Now Bacharach. Pity Rodriguez wins a throw-in off of Apononu. High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, and iced tea, no added sugar and natural flavors. High Noon is the perfect drink for any occasion. Half an hour gone here in Pawtucket. No, Darce will leave the throw-in here for J.J. Williams. Normally it's Williams or Holstead who gets the long throw-in duties here. And Williams actually switched the ball out, maybe for a cleaner grip with all the precipitation that's has fallen so far here in Pawtucket tonight. Based on where his teammates are positioned, this is going to be quite some throw. And J.J. Williams to find a teammate. Elton Garcia making sure it doesn't bubble over. Williams lines it up. Throws it in towards No Darce. Critical header away. Quizera will reset all the way back for Holstead. Over the top here. And Williams maybe lost track of it on the way through. Miscontrolled it. Goal kick. Well, there's no job too big with Norfolk Power Equipment, New England's premier Kubota dealer. Norfolk Power Equipment's a proud sponsor of RIFC. Come on down today. Get the job done with Norfolk Power. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew, great to have you with us. Could argue that the Battery have edged it so far in this Eastern Conference title, though I'm reminded of something that Ben Pierman told us, specifically, I should say, about the game against the Rowdies. They were dominant in that first half. He said, we took it to them, but we didn't capitalize in that first half with a goal. We're kind of getting towards that here, where the Battery have had really good chances, but Rhode Island, despite some of the bending moments, haven't broken, and the Battery haven't broken through yet.
Well, it just showcases how delicate this game of football can be, because then you revert back to their game at Lou City. Limited in shots, but the conversion rate was there. Then you go to their game against Brooklyn, 13 shots, 4 shots on target, 0 goals. So it's so delicate in which you can create, you can generate, but chance creation has to become chance conversion.
As we talked about earlier, games between Charleston and Rhode Island can be decided by a moment in the game. So some of these missed chances, both teams will hope, won't come back to bite them later on.
Look, only goes to his left. Even if he pushes it by you, Escort them to their
You could watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
Good, a little bit higher, good.
Charleston still on it here with Apanonu, back for Graham Smith. Sean Suber.
Going back to that Lou City match for Charleston, that is when they first featured this 3-4-3 in attack, this 5-3-2 defensively. They're set up and obviously very effective at Lou City, so kind of picking up on the same foot here tonight.
Well, look at the always well-dressed Ben Pierman. The only thing I don't like about that shot is we don't get to see his sneaker game
I was just about to say, I was like, well-dressed and the sneaker game is there. I would dare to say Connor Smith is right there with him.
No question.
I mean, two good friends, obviously, compete on the field, and then now you have the competition, and who's got the best sneaker setup.
Here is Quizera, meanwhile, for Rhode Island. Pity Rodriguez blocked. J.J. Williams tries to pick up the pieces, dispossessed. And Pakamov makes a big challenge there for the Battery to make sure J.J. Williams couldn't get a shot away or a pass.
And that's the electric transition that you're looking for Rhode Island, but just intelligence defensively from Josu Landry. He not only cuts off the pass, but then gets into the defensive action and interferes with anything that Rhode Island was able to generate. So does two things with one run.
Quizera, dangerous feed, but it's well controlled by Holstead. Just under 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the opening half. Remember, this is the first of two tonight in the USL Championship on CBS Sports. Golazo, Oakland, and Las Vegas still to come. Great ball over the top here. Again, great defensive work by Landry. Rhode Island want a foul here. Elton Garcia didn't see a foul in his opinion. It's going to go out for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. And Rhode Island are still asking the questions here of Elton Garcia.
And that's almost back-to-back vital interventions defensively from Josu Landry. And this is what you're going to get sometimes when you play that five-back system. You're going to have some space that becomes available, but you're also asking your opponent to play that quality diagonal ball, and Rhode Island able to find that ball, but Landry, good defensive moment, and you see the coming together here.
Rhode Island, I think, took exception to the fact that Landry extended his left arm back with his momentum. Not sure you're going to get a foul for that, frankly. And it's a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner for Rhode Island. Can they find the breakthrough here towards the end of the half? It's a high arcer towards Williams, who certainly rose the highest, but didn't get clean enough contact on it. Well, the New England laborers are training the workforce of today that'll build our tomorrow with state-of-the-art training facilities across Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. You'll be equipped with classroom and job site knowledge to start a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built Centerville Bank Stadium, your home of RIFC.
When you concede a defensive corner, your heart almost skips a beat when you see J.J. Williams starting to rise up, and that is open for him. If he can just get a touch and guide it on frame, and that is as dangerous as it comes from J.J. Williams. Obviously, we saw the magnificent equalizer he had against New England Revolution to send that game into extra time and obviously eventually into penalties.
It was the latest goal Rhode Island's ever scored in their history. 90+10, I believe, was the official minute on that. 100 minutes in the Open Cup. Meanwhile, Quizera tried to thread the needle. It was blocked out. Here's Frank Nodarse. Play Holstead up ahead. And then it's given away to Kelly, who then gives it back to Bacharach. Holstead for Sanchez. Forced back to Amity Diop. Lovely crossfield ball to Quizera. Quizera looks to chip this into the middle. He was looking for Williams. It's cleared away by Ikaza. Now Miguel Berry looks to get the step on Karifa Yao down this near side. Miguel Berry double teamed here. Still does incredibly hard work and does find a pass. Remarkable. Lovely interplay. Now Landry on the far side. Osu Landry into the middle. Ikaza hits it first time, and you can tell by his reaction he could have done more with it.
What work from Miguel Berry here. Not only is he a willing runner on both sides of the ball, but his strength to hold up the ball, get everybody involved, and then Emilio Ikaza clever with the initial run to drop back into that space to get on the ball, but just does not connect the way he wanted to.
It's going to go out for a throw on the far side. Landry and company thought it should have been a battery throw. It stays with Rhode Island here in Bacharach, and Bacharach is fouled by Ikaza. That gives Rhode Island good real estate here for a set piece with 5 minutes left of normal time in the half.
This is an element for the Charleston Battery, staying switched on, staying detailed. This is an area that Rhode Island FC thrive on, especially when they can kind of access some of that space right behind the defensive line and then put Zamudio into a position where he's got to make a decision.
Quizera and Rodriguez stand over this. Two men in the wall as Rodriguez whips it in, nearly towards J.J. Williams. Holstead volleys it well wide. It hit off of Diop. No foul, says the referee, a handball or offside. Then the cross ricochets out. It's another corner to Rhode Island. And corners are brought to you by Chick-fil-A Attleboro. Now all of a sudden, Rhode Island heaping more and more pressure on Charleston.
Yeah, these are two teams that are relentless. Once they get in the attacking third, they just do not want to let you out. As soon as you get on the ball, collectively they swarm, make it extremely challenging. And although that did not come off as Clay Holstead wanted, still falling to a teammate, earning a dangerous set piece.
Looks like it'll be an outswinger from Quizera. Towards Williams, who tried to back heel it. That was a lot to ask of him, and it's a goal kick. Hello Yellow, enjoy a sip of sunshine and celebrate the hometown team with a wicked good IPA from Lawson's Finest Liquors, proud partner of RIFC. Here come the Battery. Malik Foster down this far side. The back heel towards Landry. It just about keeps it going. In for Berry. Miguel Berry for Nathan Messer. Oh, what a great recovery. Jojea Quizera gets there just in time. Messer called for the foul in the end. Great hustle. And Rhode Island escape.
And we've seen some key interventions. Look at the recognition from Quizera. And Nathan Messer thinks he's teeing up for shot on target to test Coque Vegas, but Quizera meets it on time, earns the free kick. And that's where Rhode Island's gonna want to clean up some of the bigger transition moments. Now, I will say that J.J. Williams there was very isolated. He still had a lot of teammates well behind the play. I think going into the break, Kanu Smith is gonna look at how they develop in transition. We've seen a number of times with Quizera on the ball. How do you move Charleston in that last moment?
This got brought back, I believe, and Cano Smith is asking one or two words of the referee and the fourth official here on this near side. He's still having a word with the fourth official over all of that, possibly over whether or not a yellow card, I guess, should have been brandished. When Hugo Bacharach puts his team in an awkward position here. Hamidi Diop for Bacharach. Charleston swarming here. It's played back for Diop again, who just is able to get it out wide for Sanchez. Rhode Island nearly put themselves in a very rough spot there. Sanchez up the other end. One back by Landry. Landry continues to have a great half. He ricochets the ball forward, but too far for him to chase it, and Vegas tracks it down. Holstead up ahead, and it's going to trickle out of play. Charleston throw. Well, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the grassroots to the pros. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice. Charleston get it back via a free kick. Into 2 added minutes at the end of the half. A half where the scoreline doesn't nearly tell the full story. Plenty of chances for both teams to take the lead. Neither have been able to take full advantage. Again, great anticipation there from Quizera. But then he dribbles himself into some trouble here and makes a poor feed back for Bacharach. Bacharach tries to recover and finds Vegas. And again, Rhode Island nearly put themselves in trouble, but play their way out. Still some pressure here. Diop. Bacharach gives it away to Landry. Here's Miguel Berry. Berry in behind. Chance to cut it back for the shot, but Hamidi Diop shuts the door. Now Rhode Island can break with Clay Holstead. Near side cross, no Darce. No Darce for Williams. Oh, what a save! Luis Zamudio robs J.J. Williams of the opening goal and keeps Charleston level.
Oh, we just saw absolute class in both boxes. Obviously, Charleston continue to be threatening, but big defensive plays from Rhode Island, and then go down the field, get this clipped-in ball. What a header from J.J. Williams, but just met by a spectacular save by Zamudio.
Ikaza. Out wide, Malik Foster. With 2 men on him, can Foster get the shot away? No, he lays it off for Landry. Clever touch by Landry, then he loses out. It's one back by Charleston here. Kelly cannot continue the attack as the half comes to a close. End-to-end action pretty much through the last 5 minutes or so of the half, and somehow no score.
And that last sequence from Rhode Island is going to be something that they're going to lean into the break. Is that's how they do the distances in terms of when they regain possession. And for Charleston, they've been dangerous, but they've lacked that high value chance. And then can they be a bit more unpredictable in some of their box arrivals in the final third?
Really good game brewing here in Pawtucket between 2 Eastern Conference rivals here in the USL Championship. Both Rhode Island and Charleston had good opportunities, but left some chances on the floor in the first half. Just getting heated up here on CBS Sports Golazo. Halftime coming up. Rhode Island 0, Charleston 0 in Pawtucket. We'll have plenty more coming up from around the league after the break.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you? Sure, I can help you with that. How would you like to make the deposit today? Cash or check? Thank you for visiting Centerville Bank. Have a great day.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. May is Bike to Work Month, and it's more rewarding than ever thanks to the Drive Less RI app. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, earn rewards by logging your green trips. Download the Drive Less RI app today, or visit drivelessri.com to get started, and be on the lookout for our celebration stations in May. For more info, visit ripta.com/bike-to-work.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation: you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Halftime here in Rhode Island is presented by Gem Plumbing, official partner of Rhode Island FC. Good one underway here, 0-0 at the half between rivals Rhode Island and Charleston. We'll look around the rest of the USL Championship when we come back after the break.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. Time for some of the headlines for this week. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio. Albert Dequa's return to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds this season provided a magical moment in Week 7. Dequa's goal in added time led Pittsburgh to a 2-1 win over Detroit City. 2 goals on the night gave Dequa his 60th in the USL Championship. 40 goals as a member of the Riverhounds, the 12th player in championship history to accomplish that milestone with one club. Corey Bennett of Colorado Springs scored 2 goals against Monterey Bay in Week 7. That's 6 goals for the season, the Golden Boot lead through 7 games, and that total matches the season high for an individual player from the Switchbacks in 2025. Orange County SC sits atop the Western Conference entering this week in big part to the club's defensive performances. Good luck scoring on this team right now. 5 shutouts already with just 3 goals allowed. The expected goals allowed per game for Orange County, 0.72. Upcoming national broadcasts include Championship and League One. Hartford at Rhode Island on Saturday in the Prince Tires USL Cup. May 2nd, Detroit City hosting Louisville City, and AC Boise hosts FC Naples on Wednesday, May 13th. All 3 matches on the CBS Sports Network. We're getting closer to the second half. Let's get you back out to your match.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
This one slipped through nicely for Williams! Shining once again for Hartford. Quizera settles. Dodea Quizera!
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you? Sure, I can help you with that. How would you like to make the deposit today? Cash or check? Thank you for visiting Centerville Bank. Have a great day.
Halftime here in Pawtucket. No score yet between Rhode Island and Charleston. It's been a really good game so far here at Centerville Bank Stadium. We'll take another break. We'll have highlights, stats, and the second half kick here in the USL Championship when we come back.
With the field for World Cup 2026 now set, the USL can enjoy its place in the countdown to history. Never before has an active USL player taken part in a World Cup, until now. For the past 2.5 years, more than 30 players from USL Championship and League One battled through World Cup qualifying. This summer, 6 of them have a chance to hit the field for their respective countries. Miami FC teammates Eloy Rom and Jurgen Locadia made history, helping Curacao qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever. Curacao will face Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador in group play. And for the first time since 1974, Haiti will take part in the World Cup, following a very unique road through qualifying. 4 championship players, Duke Lacroix and Garvin Matusala of Colorado Springs, Delence Pierre from FC Tulsa, and Carl Sente from New Mexico United led Haiti through qualifying without playing a home match. Now the Haitian team faces a tough group at the World Cup with matches against Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. But while World Cup qualifying owned the spotlight in late March, several USL players took part on U.S. youth national teams, also on the world stage. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery scored a goal for the U.S. Under-20 team against Argentina in Argentina. Orange County SC's Tyson Espy played for the Under-17 team in Paraguay. And the U.S. Under-18 team played in Portugal, featuring Ramiz Hamuda from Birmingham Legion, Brandon Days of Louisville City, and Jameer Johnson from Orange County SC.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. May is Bike to Work Month, and it's more rewarding than ever thanks to the Drive Less RI app. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, earn rewards by logging your green trips. Download the Drive Less RI app today or visit drivelessri.com to get started. And be on the lookout for our celebration stations in May. For more info, visit ripta.com/bike to work.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you? Sure, I can help you with that. How would you like to make the deposit today? Cash or check? Thank you for visiting Centerville Bank. Have a great day.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Sean and Eric back here with you. First half highlights between Rhode Island and Charleston. We begin with Rhode Island with a takeaway and a chance.
Yeah, and it's been the ebbs and flows that we would expect from a quality matchup like this. Afonso gets himself on the ball, obviously had a spectacular goal against Lexington in their last league match. Hits it from distance. Obviously, J.J. Williams wanted that ball to feet, but those are going to be the situations when you have options, and that's what both these teams presented to themselves in the first half. Jeremy Kelly was heavily involved in this first half against Charleston, but some of the second and third actions defensively from Rhode Island have been class and timely and much needed, and has kept him in situations where this game is at 0-0. And Jeremy Kelly back on the ball, but the down press and the pressure there towards the end affects this take. And then Rhode Island started to grow into this match in terms of some of the distances and the proximity they were able to pick up once they got back on the ball. But this 3-4-3 for Charleston Battery in attack has posed a lot of threat against the Rhode Island FC in terms of some of the numerical advantages it creates out wide and the way it stretches them out. Then Emilio Kaza was able to collect from distance and threaten. But this is some of the moments that Rhode Island thrived in. This big switch, you get numbers, and Nodarse, no doubt about picking out J.J. Williams. It was just met by a class save from Zamudio. Seen this throughout the season, obviously from both goalkeepers, but Zamudio came up huge in that clean sheet against Lou City on the road. It's a big save to preserve that 0-0 going into the break. And both these teams have to feel like, obviously there's more there for the match, but they feel like they've navigated this game quite well.
Yeah, very even as far as particularly shots on target. Both teams have had key moments, specifically towards the end of that first half. 3 corners each as well. And the Battery with that 60% possession certainly created quite a bit in that first half. But like Ben Pierman said, they need to make it count, cash in some goal opportunities. Both teams failed to do that in the first half. We'll certainly see how it materializes in the second 45 minutes. Well, these fans are the winners of the Seriously Nice seat upgrade, courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. Breeze Airways is a proud partner of RIFC. We, of course, should mention that this is the first leg of the new Breeze Airways Cup between Rhode Island and Charleston. There's, of course, a direct flight between Rhode Island and Charleston. The Cup will be handed out in the Low Country. In the second leg, the aggregate score between the 2 regular season games dictates that. But even with that to the side, it's been a highly intense game. Both teams are going after each other, taking big swings. No questions about that. Just another heated game between Charleston and Rhode Island. That's how it always goes.
I was going to say, do you need to add any more fuel to what this match already means between these two clubs? The Breeze Airways Cup, and for both these teams, obviously, I think Rhode Island goes into the break feeling good about some of the momentum that they carry. Obviously, Charleston probably look at that first 45 as a sustained threat that they possess. I do think that some of the box arrivals need to have a hint of unpredictability when they do break into that final third. Not necessarily the runs are easy to pick up, but what becomes some of that second, third wave and the timely runs that you see from the Battery, from Ikaza, from Jeremy Kelly, and then Rhode Island FC, that transitional threat. Can they just see an uptick in that itself and maybe present that problem more frequently for the Charleston Battery, where then they don't necessarily can be able to throw the numbers that they've been able to throw going forward. They're naturally going to do that, but when you can sustain a threat in transition, it does become a bit more cautious.
Well, there'll be another interruption here at the start of the second half. Again, no score between Rhode Island and Charleston here. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew. Good crowd here, Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Remember, it's the first game of a doubleheader in the USL Championship tonight here on CBS Sports Golazo Network, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, Oakland and Las Vegas. Big tilt in the Western Conference after this game is done. So we encourage you to stick around here on Golazo Network throughout the rest of the night. And like you mentioned, Coach, really good first 45. Both teams had clear opportunities to break the deadlock. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier, Ben Pierman and Charleston want to get Rhode Island back for knocking them out of the playoffs the last couple of seasons while getting their first win here in Rhode Island. And Rhode Island, of course, are trying to continue their upward trajectory after that big win just over a week ago against Lexington. Charleston controls at the start of the second half, and we should remind you as well that the Rhode Island Lottery is a proud official partner of RIFC.
And I know we sit at 0-0, but it's just one of those games where you knew that it's going to come down to who can win some of those second, third phases. Yes, you can find that initial ball that breaks pressure. You can find some of the transition, but you still have to see out the play. You still have to find that clinical advantage, that final quality, final attachment. Neither of these sides have been able to do so, and it's just what you expect from a heavyweight Eastern Conference clash. Two teams that obviously Rhode Island sit below the playoff line, but it is far too early to make judgment on those kind of points, especially with Rhode Island only the 5 games played.
The ball's in behind. Vegas controls for Rhode Island. If the game were to end in a draw, the Battery actually still would jump into third place, just 1 point above Pittsburgh, Hartford, and Detroit, who are all sitting just below them in the live table. Rhode Island would stay in 11th, but they'd be tied with Birmingham Legion on points and, at the moment, in goal differential as well.
Birmingham Legion, 3 unbeaten for them, 2 draws and a win.
You do feel with the Legion under Jay Heaps that it's starting to figure itself out a bit. It can certainly be another team that puts themselves very much in contention in the Eastern Conference for a playoff spot.
It's always so intriguing because as you approach that 10-game, almost looked like a poor turnover, and foul on Baccarat kind of bails them out in that situation. It's always intriguing as teams approach that 10-game mark. So we see that ball getting away from Emilio Casa, but the contact there, it seemed like Alfonso was going to quickly transition. You see teams start to develop that storyline, those themes, that style of play, identity. But then you almost feel like, on the flip side, that the adjustments have to be there because now those trends and themes are then available for all teams. I mean, when you go into early matchups, I think all teams are still trying to grow into that collective. So you're making those changes in real time. You're kind of reading the cues, you're developing what the storyline and how the game is developing. As you kind of enter that middle third of the season, kind of get a good look at what teams are going to present and how you want to go about attacking that.
Good take here by Emilio Icaza, does really well. Plays out to the far side. Messer tries to clip it into the middle. Blocked by Quizera. Messer tries again. Blocked by Nodarse. And the combination of Quizera and Nodarse sweep it up brilliantly for Rhode Island defensively. But then the Battery do retrieve it in the middle of the park, only for Quizera to get back on it. And he gives it right back to Icaza in a game of hot potato that sees the Battery get it back. Lovely threading of the needle here for Barry. Landry on the near side. Early cross into the middle. Jope tries to get it clear. The layoff for Icaza. Icaza with a brilliant ball from Messer. Messer for Miguel. Barry was calling for it all the way. Baccarat takes it off, and then was it handled by Baccarat? No, it's a foul against Barry instead. Free kick for Rhode Island.
They're going to say a foul before the handball, and you mentioned it, Miguel Barry calling for that ball. The first touch just didn't seem to settle for him the way he wanted it to, and then here's where Garcia sees the foul, which negates the handball in the box. But space for Rhode Island here.
Leo Afonso trying to size up the shot. Williams, the lovely layoff. Rodriguez. Holstead. It's crossed into the middle. It's flicked on, and Williams scores! Battery are crying out for the offside flag here. It does not come up. And J.J. Williams opens his account in the USL Championship for 2026 and gives Rhode Island a 1-0 lead over the Battery.
And this is a mark of a high-quality elite striker. The subtle nature of his movement, you just look at him. He's playing in front of this back line, and then he just drifts. Just the subtle drift. And then the attention goes to the ball. He just continues to stay located on what's happening in front of him. He gets the subtle touch from the defender. And no doubt about the finish there. Calm, composed. Puts his team up 1-0.
Well, certainly when the ball was kicked, it was tight, whether or not J.J. Williams was onside or not. And then was the touch deliberate from the defender? That's where we get into a bit of a gray area. Clearly the officials thought it was, and it's a goal. And J.J. Williams has his first in the regular season, and Rhode Island strike first. A massive breakthrough moment for Rhode Island, and well, it just always seems to be J.J. Williams when Rhode Island needs a moment.
And he was already playing with that aggressiveness in the first 45, but to start this second half, see him playing between the defenders extremely high. There was a couple moments that Quizera was able to get on the ball that he had already released, and Quizera was not able to get the ball to him because he was offside. But he just continues to work on the timing. Now Miguel Berry with this pressure.
Should mention as well, we did hit a significant milestone for Emilio Icaza. He went over, and this happened in the 26th minute, went over 10,000 career regular season minutes in the USL Championship. So a massive tip of the cap to him. He's had a great season so far for Charleston. Well, we mentioned it, the Battery had a couple of key chances in the first half to take the lead when they were in the ascendancy. It didn't happen. And Rhode Island, who maybe are the fresher of the two teams, have taken the lead here, and they're looking for more with Williams. And this time Zamudio is able to get there, and ironically, from a Charleston point of view, the offside flag goes up. Sanchez, toe-to-toe with Malik Foster. This allows the Battery to get back on the front foot.
It is a high volume of minutes, my friend, and those are quality minutes from that man, Emilio Icaza. Such high influence. We talk about the goals against Birmingham, but obviously the season that he's having. Gonna want to be a major impact in his team, pulling back a goal and finding level.
Messer from the corner. It puts in a good ball. The header is saved off the line by Vegas. Charleston are asking, did it go over the line? It looked like it was close, but it did appear that Vegas kept it out. It's going to be another Battery corner. We may have to look back at that. And now Elton Garcia wants to keep the peace inside the 6-yard box. That was so close. Messer will try again. Almost the same spot, this time headed away by Williams. And Rodriguez nudges this forward for Quizera, who couldn't quite return the favor. Landry stops it.
There's that header, and very similar to the set piece they scored on against the Tampa Bay Rowdies to equalize late in that match. That near post delivery, obviously Martinez is able to clip that ball into the far post. This one going near post, but still unable to see if that ball does cross the line. But Koke Vegas and Zamudio have had to come up big in this match.
Reverse ball over the top. Vegas again is there. We'll come up clutch with the Wendy's app. Save time, money, get the W. Wendy's is a proud partner of RIFC. Goal from J.J. Williams. You can believe it. It's his first of the season in the regular season of the championship to go along with 2 assists. Second ball has come on to the pitcher. Oh, it actually distracted Rhode Island, and they give the ball away here. But the Battery cannot take advantage of it. Barry was not ready for the feed in behind. Oh, where the referee probably should have stopped the play. The second ball clearly made an impact on the action. Whether it's on the field or in the office, great teams need great coverage. Delta Dental of Rhode Island offers affordable dental and vision plans with top-rated customer service. For more at deltadentalri.com. Another fierce tussle there. Rodriguez just able to navigate past a couple of Battery challenges there. Well, again, in the live table, that would put Rhode Island, that goal from J.J. Williams puts Rhode Island into 9th, just 1 point behind Miami with a goal, beg your pardon, with a game in hand of Miami FC. As Suber sweeps that up. Charleston would stay in 4th, but they would take a bit of a hit, obviously, in goal differential. Quizera for Williams. Williams cuts it back on Apononu. Quizera again. Williams pokes it towards Quizera, who went for a really difficult shot from that angle and blazes it over. Some Rhode Island pressure here as the Battery play out. Yeah, went over the back of Miguel Berry there. Now Pizzi Rodriguez, lovely reverse ball onto this near side. Leo Afonso cuts in field, shot is blocked. Jojea Quizera, oh, he puts too much on it. Tried to cut it towards the byline, didn't have enough real estate and gives it away. You can see by his reaction.
And it's almost like this ball catches him by surprise because Afonso takes this ball inside, it takes this deflection. You almost feel like he had an opportunity to hit it right there, or at least put it right in front of goal. Rodriguez was there, Afonso was still there. Fortunately, that last heavy touch, you can see just a goal kick.
Well, the reaction spoke volumes. Could have done more there with it. Jojea Quizera. And now Ikaza up ahead. Again, Sanchez there to cut it out. Now Sanchez in some trouble. Foster with the pressure on him. Ooh, Rhode Island tried to play through. They give it away. Pahabov couldn't thread the needle. Berry. First time ball in by Landry. Poked towards Berry, who couldn't redirect it. Touched away from him. Suber helps to win it back. Landry controls as we approach the hour mark.
And I know it's a subtle example, but those are moments where you get that ball out in the width. Can you even have the slightest delay in the pockets of space that you occupy and you finalize? Because you are just sitting there for a moment, and Rhode Island's able to set themselves and put themselves in good position to clean up anything that's served in.
Landry. Awkward header. It's going to go back out of play. It's a Battery throw. Miller Lite is a proud partner of RIFC. When it's game time, it's Miller time. Here is Nathan Messer for the Battery. You have 30 minutes to try to turn this around. But they give it away here. And Rhode Island could have a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Rodriguez leading the charge. Slips in Quizera, 2-0, Rhode Island. A wonderful counter-attacking goal from RIFC. It's Jojea Quizera's third goal of the season, and Rhode Island double their delight over the Battery with a 2-0 lead in the championship.
And the turnover leaves them vulnerable here. Charleston Battery, and then Rhode Island quick to recognize it. And the ruthless behavior in the touches and the drive at the back line that draw them to squeeze and pause for just a moment. And then the decisive finish. Here you see Zamudio leaving his line, but you know you need to go with the one-time touch from Quizera to tuck it away near post. What a second half for Rhode Island.
Well, we mentioned that Rhode Island's had the Battery's number as of late. And the script, particularly here in the second half, remains unchanged for Charleston. And just like against the Rowdies, just like against Brooklyn, first half missed opportunities have come back to bite the Battery here tonight. Third goal of the season for Quizera, second assist in the league for Pitsy Rodriguez, who Cano Smith feels is close to turning a corner. He gets another big moment, the Argentine youngster, and the Battery have a mountain to climb over the next 28 minutes if they are to get back into it. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek is your ticket to great seats. Here come the Battery here. Nathan Messer asks for a corner, but it's a whisker wide of the target. That was the chance for Charleston to get right back in the game.
And this is sometimes where you see that pressure mounting. You go down 2 goals, you have the time and the space to tee this up, and you just put it off frame, and you know that you need to cut into the lead, and you get it wrong in the end. We see changes from Charleston.
A double change here for Ben Pierman. It's Gomov and Suber coming out. Wilmer Cabrera and Douglas Martinez coming in for the Battery. Certainly some potential game changers for Ben Pierman's group entering the field here.
And you mentioned it a moment ago, that game at Brooklyn for Charleston Battery. It was the turnovers and the vulnerability that exposed them. And obviously Marcus Anderson and Cervenia were fantastic in that game for Brooklyn. Obviously Stojanovic had a terrific goal as well. But you also look at some of the representation that Charleston Battery continue to have in the final third. And I know when you get into the final third, you have that representation, but a lot of it comes down to the timing of that representation. Ben Pierman has said it a number of times throughout seasons previous and then into this season, box arrivals. And that being a key to how offenses click. And that's where, for Charleston Battery, they definitely are up there in chance creation. We've talked about Nathan Messer's influence, their ability to spray the ball like this and create some overloads and create some chances. But
Martinez in the middle, caught by Vegas. And Vegas tries to free up J.J. Williams. It's into his path. Williams holds up the play. Still, J.J. Williams. Oh, it's sensational. A moment of magic from J.J. Williams off the Vegas feed. And Rhode Island are 3-0 up after a J.J. jaw dropper.
Starts in the defensive third. Koke Vegas. I mean, this is what he presents as a goalkeeper, always looking down the field. And then J.J. Williams, that complement of patience and then punishing strike. See, he turns his defender around and then just unleashes one with that right foot. How about that for a game? A brace in the second half, coming off of what was an electric equalizer in the Open Cup against New England Revolution. Just look at Ben Pierman. The disappointment from the Charleston Battery. This is a game that was at 0-0 at the break. Rhode Island have just come out flying.
It's almost like the equivalent of a basketball player lining up a step-back jumper there. Just turned Graham Smith inside out. A brace for Williams, 3 for Rhode Island. And it's happening again to the Battery here, not just against Rhode Island, but particularly on the road, where Ben Pierman told us that we've struggled on the road. There's no questions about it. Well, it's happening again here in the second half after a really promising first half from Charleston, but it has unraveled here in the second half. The throw-in comes to Jeremy Kelly. Kelly, lovely incisive feed here. Oh, and the shot is blocked by Jobe. Follow-up shot from Berry, blocked as well. It's what makes Rhode Island so difficult, particularly when you're trailing against them. They're so good defensively, and they can pick you off in transition, as we've seen tonight. Goes back to what you said earlier, Coach. When you don't score first, these kind of things can happen to you against Rhode Island.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to change stylistically, but it does kind of push towards uncharacteristic, unforced errors, and we've seen that from Charleston Battery on the road. Brooklyn, where you get dispossessed impacts a lot of what other teams are able to exploit going forward, and Koke Vegas does get the assist on that J.J. Williams ball, that goal. What a ball it was in terms of just the recognition and the pace of play.
Hamady Jobe is down here as both teams, beg your partner, getting changes ready. Grant Stoneman is getting prepared for Rhode Island. Colton Swan, the young U.S. men's national team youth international, getting prepared alongside Langston Blackstock. Concern here for Hamady Jobe, who's had a great game tonight for Cano Smith's men. I wonder if that's who Grant Stoneman is coming in to replace here from a Rhode Island perspective. These 2 changes for Charleston will be their last 2 of the night, barring any concussion substitutions, of course.
He's off! Outside! Outside! He's off! Fourth, you gonna do something? It's not up, buddy! He's not ready! He's off! Go!
Cano Smith is upset here. He's saying that Hamady Jobe is off the field, and now Rhode Island are allowed to make the substitution. Or are they? Elton Garcia is going to have a word here with Cano Smith. I think the concern or the frustration from Rhode Island is that Jobe can't continue. So they want to get Stoneman on as quickly as they can. So that change is made. Stoneman on for Jobe. Messer will make way for Blackstock, and Kelly will make way for Swan on the 2 Charleston substitutions. Eventually we cleared all of that up. The sense of urgency from Cano Smith to want to make that change as quickly as possible was evident. Both teams make the moves they want to make in the end with 20 minutes of normal time left. AAA Insurance is proud to be the official home, auto, and life insurance of Rhode Island FC. Another fantastic night from J.J. Williams on a hat trick, of course, now for Rhode Island. Came into the night, might not have felt like this, but with no goals in the USL Championship. He's got 2 after the, well, sandwiching in a third goal, which was scored from Jojea Quizera, his 3rd of the championship season. And Rhode Island, once again, getting the better of Charleston. High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, and iced tea, no added sugar and natural flavors. It's the perfect drink for any occasion. As Wilmer Cabrera cannot control it on the far side. It is out for a throw-in. So coming into the night, the Battery were 1 win, 3 defeats, no draws in all competitions away from the Low Country this season. Unless they pull off a miraculous recovery in the last 18 minutes, that's going to be a 4th road defeat for Ben Pierman's bunch at the start of the season in all competitions. But Martinez looks to thread the needle here. Malik Foster wins a corner off of Vegas. Well, if the Battery are going to mount a comeback, they're going to need that first goal ASAP. Well, with Messer on the bench, it'll be Emilio Icaza to take the corner. And he whips in a really good ball. The header pinballs around and goes out for a goal kick. And that will allow Cano Smith to make a couple of changes here. Looks like that is going to be it for Hugo Bacharach. And I believe the goal scorer, Jojea Quizera, is also going to make way here. Zach Harivo, who has certainly had his injury problems over the years. Good to see him back in. And Noah Fuson, he's in as well for Rhode Island. Another very creative playmaking attacker for Cano Smith.
This is a Rhode Island side that go on the road, as we've mentioned, with the Brinks Tires Cup, USL Cup this weekend at Hartford, but then host 2 crucial Eastern Conference matchups. I mean, host Birmingham coming up May 2nd, and then host the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Still remain as the only unbeaten.
Martinez was trying to buy a foul there. Referee wasn't interested. Harivo does well defensively, plays it down this near side. Elton Garcia's brought that back. Certainly Rhode Island thought for a moment they could get an advantage off of that. In the end, it wasn't to be. In the prior meetings between Rhode Island and Charleston, the most lopsided victory wasn't really all that lopsided. Charleston's only win was a 2-0 victory. Opening night last season, Cal Jennings had a brace in the Low Country. Other than that, the games have either finished tied, have gone to penalties in the playoffs, or have been 1-goal games. This might be one of the outliers in the rivalry between these two, but specifically if Rhode Island keep on humming here. They're on the front foot again. It's won back by the Battery. Icaza looks to leak out here, but cannot pick out Colton Swan on the far side. Well, Dave's Marketplace is proud to be an official partner of RIFC.
I think where Rhode Island have come in and made an imprint in the second half, obviously the goals change games, but defensively they've influenced a lot of those initial passes and initial actions in transition, or when Charleston put themselves back on the ball. Whereas you felt in like the first 45 when Charleston was able to get themselves back on the ball, they had the options, they had the angles. The second half has been a lot more disruption from Rhode Island, and that has led them into some aggressive transitional moments and obviously some moments where they've had good numbers in and around the ball, and that always pays dividends when you can collect it and then have an outlet right away.
Certainly the fact that Rhode Island had a week to prepare in this game helps. It was a quick turnaround for Charleston after the 1-1 draw against the Rowdies at the weekend. Certainly Ben Pierman will not use that as an excuse, make no mistake about that. But as well as the Battery played in the first half, for those just tuning in, that's the part that you missed about the 3-0, is that it was 0-0 at the half. Charleston arguably outplayed Rhode Island in the first half. But Ben Pierman mentioned, we said we don't always reward ourselves for the great play that we have out on the field this season, and this is the latest example of that, particularly on the road, where it just has not gone the Battery's way so far. That'll be something, again, Ben Pierman and his staff are well aware of it, that they're going to have to rectify in the months ahead.
Yeah, and it doesn't change. They have 3 out of their next 4 on the road. Open Prinks Tires Cup on the road at Loudoun United, then host Sporting Jacksonville, then on the road against Richmond, and then on the road against New Mexico United.
It's already the 5th road game for Charleston in 7 in all competitions. A brutal stretch when you look at the sort of zoomed out schedule, if you will. And to be fair, overall, the Battery, because of some of those home games and a road game here or there, have managed it rather well. But the last few in particular, they have not been able to quite navigate it as nicely. Free kick here for Grant Stoneman. And Rhode Island looking to close in on their second win of this USL Championship regular season. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Of course, a reminder, when we're done here, stick around because 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, also here on Golazo, Oakland and Las Vegas in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. That game, of course, will take you through the rest of the night. See if Devin Rensing's men can get a win at the Coliseum over Ryan Martin's upstart Oakland Roots. Good defensive work there from the Battery. That was Langston Blackstock. It's a goal kick that will allow Cano Smith to make another change. It's the Jamaican, Dwayne Atkinson. Talk about adding more depth and firepower to the equation. He'll replace Pity Rodriguez, who gets another assist onto his ledger tonight.
Yeah, this was a match that Cano Smith went with an unchanged 11 from their match at Lexington. You see that 3-1 result, massive 3 points. Able to bring on some impactful changes and obviously players that will undoubtedly influence how this season plays out.
Well, that's a giveaway. Here is Atkinson for Holstead. Back towards Holstead here. Does Zamudio get it? Oh, I don't think he did. Referee points for a penalty to Rhode Island. The Battery are incensed here. They surround Elton Garcia. Tough to tell if Zamudio got enough on the ball. Obviously, the answer from Elton Garcia is he did not. It's a penalty.
Well, clever here from Holstead, and then he just never stops running and understands that if he gets a touch right there and forces Zamudio into the contact, that he can draw the penalty.
Well, great view from our camera crew. Clearly, Holstead gets there first. Zamudio slaps at his boot. Stonewall penalty. And I was going to say, J.J. Williams is on a hat trick here, but Dwayne Atkinson is standing over the ball, at least initially here. Or is this a little bit of mind games being played by Rhode Island? Ooh, J.J. Williams comes there and just pats him on the back.
Very interesting.
It does appear that Dwayne Atkinson is going to take the penalty here. He has scored once for Rhode Island this season. Came over from Cavalier FC in Jamaica last year and gave Rhode Island a spark. He would essentially seal the points if he scores. And Dwayne Atkinson does score to wrap it up. 4-0 Rhode Island. They've run the Battery out of Rhode Island tonight. There's no questions about that. And Dwayne Atkinson scores his second goal of the season to make sure the points stay here at Centerville Bank Stadium tonight.
And an extremely well-taken penalty that is met with calm and composure as we see what drew the penalty. Clay Holstead just continuing his run, making sure that he's first to that ball, and have that delayed run up, and you see Zamudio starting to leave towards his left. And Atkinson knows that now his task is just to get this on frame. He's already moved the goalkeeper the wrong direction.
Well, if you tell J.J. Williams, hey, I'm taking it, you better make it. And frankly, he made it pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and you do wonder if, because J.J. did miss a penalty against New England Revolution in that Open Cup match, but still, when you're on that brace, but to the excellent point you just made, if you're taking the penalty, you bury it like that.
Whether you're headed to work, school, or game day, RIPTA gets you there with statewide service and easy trip planning. Transit's never been simpler. RIPTA.com to plan your ride today. Free kick, Rhode Island in their own half. They take it quickly here for Noah Fuson to chase, but it's touched out of play. Harivo back out for a throw. Well, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team. Play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Well, Rhode Island continue to be a thorn in the side of the Charleston Battery. As it stands, it'll be Rhode Island's third win in the series to Charleston's one. The other three were draws. Of course, one of those was in the playoffs, went to penalties, where the Battery fell at home in the 2-7 playoff game last year. It's going to be a foul and a free kick when Elton Garcia is going to brandish a yellow card for that challenge as well. And I believe that's going to go to Douglas Martinez.
First yellow card of the match. See this combination. Through the back, Martinez. And this game is about efficiency. Obviously, you can look at XG. Rhode Island close to 2, almost 1 for Charleston Battery. But you look at final third entries, 31 total for Rhode Island, 61 total for Charleston Battery. But the touches in the opposition box, 18 for Rhode Island. Of those 31, 20 of 61 final third entries for Charleston Battery. So they're making the most of those entries into the final third. Rhode Island are.
Again, if the Lexington win for Rhode Island was sort of a page turner, this will feel like a foundation to really soar towards, of course, the USL Cup, but then obviously more regular season games, as you mentioned earlier, Coach, coming up against Birmingham, Tampa Bay, and others on the schedule. And a big sort of reflection moment for Ben Pierman and the Charleston Battery, who are about to suffer their third league defeat of the early season. Rhode Island will now have been unbeaten in 4 of the last 5 in all competitions against Charleston. It's cleared up field by Vegas, who did make a big save in the first half to keep it at a 0-0 scoreline. Feels even bigger now that Rhode Island have run away with things here in the second half. There's Miguel Berry for Charleston. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. Berry pokes it onto this near side. There's nobody there, but it is going to be a Charleston throw. Sent over the top, headed down by Apanonu, but it's right to Fuson. And Fuson cannot quite find J.J. Williams. USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on CBS Sports Golazo Network right here or on ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Berry, again, does so well in traffic there just to hold up the play for Charleston. Here's Landry for Blackstock. Now Colton Swan. Touched forward by Holstead, recovered by Charleston's looped over the top for Martinez. Header is not quite clear yet. It comes off a hand at least once or twice there. And eventually Elton Garcia acknowledges that and gives Rhode Island a free kick despite the efforts of Emilio Icaza.
It's one thing to point out the turnovers from Charleston Battery and some of the vulnerability that is presented, but you also flip that script and credit Rhode Island in their ability to be collective in not only that first ball press, but their ability to climb in all the right situations and cut off angles, create some uncomfortable situations, and then produce quality going forward.
Talked to Cano Smith about how, he said in their own ways, each of these first 3 seasons, particularly early on in the season, there's been difficult moments for this Rhode Island team to have to navigate through. Obviously, you see the throw-in headed towards the outskirts here. The volleyed attempt is saved by Zamudio on the far side from Noah Fuson. It took Rhode Island a long time to navigate through those moments, particularly last season. And they were able to wake up at the right time. At the end of the regular season, they get into the playoffs, the 7th seed, and they played for the Eastern Conference Final yet again at Pittsburgh last season after getting to the final in year 1 under Cano Smith. You wonder what they're going to look like if they figure it out even earlier this season, and the signs are they're starting to, as we're into 4 added minutes at the end of the match here. Rhode Island hasn't had yet is a home playoff game. They'd love to host a big night here at Centerville Bank Stadium the playoffs.
And it's such a great point because they've already proven to be a difficult task in the playoffs. Imagine having opponents here at home just add to the challenge.
Ikaza from the corner. It's headed towards the outskirts. Fuson helps it along. Landry recycles for Blackstock. Miguel Berry. Well, touched away by Atkinson. Berry, close control to keep it going. Tries to knife it through. Again, Rhode Island closing the gaps defensively. That time it was Karifa Yao doing his job. Blackstock in behind. That time touched away by Stoneman. Now Douglas Martinez. Apanonu, lovely ball in. It pinballs towards goal and onto the roof of the net. And out for a Battery corner with about 2 minutes remaining.
And you know these last few moments, you're going to absorb a lot of pressure, and this is a Rhode Island side that are going to want to take away not only all 3 points, but they would love to finish up with a clean sheet. That would be their only lone blemish in that Lexington match, that late goal conceded.
Ikaza and the Battery looking for a consolation. Boy, that was whipped in. Ikaza comes out for Blackstock, and it's chopped wide. Vegas sends everyone forward here. Swan wins the header and then gets back onto it only for a brief moment. It will be Battery possession here. It's a free kick. Remember, as far as the Breeze Cup is concerned, it is the aggregate score over the 2 games. So if the Battery are to win the Breeze Cup, they're going to need to score quite a few goals in the return fixture in the Low Country. Ooh, or they could score here with Ikaza. But that kind of sums up the night. Not only did he miss the target, Ikaza was offside. It's a free kick, and that should get Rhode Island over the line.
You can see the numbers that Charleston continue to throw forward, and that's where they're so good at asking the difficult questions. They've just not rewarded themselves. Again, I tend to go back to some of the key defensive plays for Rhode Island. It was, for Rhode Island, a tale of 2 halves. The first half was predicated on defensive posture, some key interventions, blocks. You look at those 2 Jeremy Kelly opportunities inside the box. Then for Rhode Island, those interventions defensively grew higher up the field, which then led to some loud moments in the attack, and boy, did they convert.
Rhode Island win it convincingly over Charleston by 4-0. They get within a point of the 8th and final playoff spot. Our man of the match, who else but J.J. Williams, again the spark plug for Rhode Island when they needed him. Both goals in the second half, all 4 of the Rhode Island goals, frankly, were in the second half after a well-played game from both teams in the first half. And Rhode Island do get a clean sheet, similar to how Scandinavian Business Services keep RIFC's home, Centerville Bank Stadium, clean. Big save from Koke in the first half as well. Let's look at the energy play of the game. Could have chosen a couple of the different goals that Rhode Island scored. It's the Pity Rodriguez assist to Jojea Quizera. This was Rhode Island's 2nd of the 4.
And you could tell that at the break, it was talked about being aggressive in the way that they were able to move the Charleston Battery in the transition moments. You see that subtle dribble going forward. It gets Charleston Battery to squeeze in that moment, and then you're able to play wide to Quizera, who tucks it away.
Look at the save of the match. It's brought to you by Centerville Bank. Make progress towards your goals with Centerville Bank, official bank partner of RIFC. Key moment in the game, that save from Coque Vegas.
And that is a terrific look at it. Very similar to the service against Tampa Bay Rowdies. Coque Vegas able to get there, preserve the clean sheet.
4-0 is the final score. J.J. Williams and Rhode Island win it over the Charleston Battery. We'll step aside. We'll be back to wrap it all up next from Pawtucket on a memorable night for RIFC. They win it 4-0.
Hi, welcome. How can I help you? Sure, I can help you with that. How would you like to make the deposit today? Cash or check? Thank you for visiting Centerville Bank. Have a great day.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built a future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Final score is brought to you by High Bar Physical Therapy. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky back here with you to wrap things up from Pawtucket. Rhode Island dominates Charleston by 4-0 off the back of a really impressive second half performance. We start with Rhode Island on the front foot here in the highlights.
Yeah, 0-0 into the break, and then Rhode Island just came out firing on all cylinders. Get this clip ball in. Deflected off the head of a Charleston Battery player, and then you lose track of J.J. Williams. He will absolutely make you pay. Tucks it away for the first goal, and this is where Rhode Island was often running, and then you get the turnovers here. Leave yourself vulnerable. The aggressive play. Rodriguez, the drive and dribble, pulling Graham Smith, stalling him in his tracks, and then Guizera does the rest. Knows that he has to go one time. Zamudio comes quick off his line. Up 2-0. And this was the play. I mean, we saw Coque Vegas before the highlights started. This is a man that had a complete game, has the clean sheet, obviously collective in that effort, and then the recognition to go fast and find J.J. Williams. He does the rest. The patience, and then the punishing strike from distance. The brace for him on the night. And then the turnovers cause even more chaos for Charleston Battery here in their defensive third. Rhode Island back on the ball. Clay Holstead just continues his run, knows that if he gets that final touch, forces Zamudio to make contact, earns the penalty. And Atkinson, who had just come on, this was probably one of his initial touches in the match, tucks it away, sees Zamudio going to his left, knows that his task is just to put it on frame and put it in the back of the net, and that he does, and 4-0 for Rhode Island. What a performance.
The most lopsided fixtures so far in the rivalry between Rhode Island and Charleston to date. Look at full-time match stats. They look a lot different than we saw at the end of the first half when it was 0-0 and still so tight. Rhode Island ran Charleston ragged in the second half.
Yeah, shots on target, and then the possession numbers. Obviously, towards the end, you know that they were going to lean towards the Charleston Battery, but how effective and efficient Rhode Island was when they were able to pick off some passes. But it also shows how much higher up the field they regained possession, because that first half was a lot about big plays in their defensive box, in their own 18-yard box, and then they did that collectively at midfield, and then that allowed them to really go after the Charleston Battery in some big moments.
Since Rhode Island entered the league back in 2024, you think of the 5-2 win at Louisville. They beat Tampa Bay 5-0 at the end of last season. They do these kinds of performances against the big names in the USL Championship, and the Charleston Battery are the latest victims tonight here on Golazo Network. 4 goals, 4-0 win for Rhode Island here in Pawtucket. They put Charleston to the sword here in the championship tonight. For Eric Dobransky and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Rhode Island. That's a big victory for Cano Smith's men. They're within a point of the top 8 in the championship.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.